Recording in progress.
Where's her voice? So comforting. Just
Wait,
brings
did I
you
hug you? Phil, I hugged you. Would you guys be honest with me? Do I stink right now?
I think I smell something too, and I thought it was me.
Do I stink? Do you?
Wait,
think?
why would you stink? Why would you stink?
I'm just wondering.
I don't know.
Are you guys cleaning something in your oven?
We made chili.
I think it's chili.
I don't think.
Because chili doesn't smell bad, but if you think chili is BO, it smells terrible. Because it's true.
And if you think chili is you, then yeah.
Exactly. Because you're like, oh, that's disgusting. But then you're like, oh, that's chili. Oh, that's great. Can I have some? Yeah.
But my nose should be adjusted to the chili by now. I've been here.
Oh, no. I walked in here and I thought I was like,
No.
oh, did I forget to put, I think I did forget to put. To be honest, I think I do smell not good, but also it's not the smell of chili. So
Okay.
we're clear.
That's a relief.
What a relief it is.
Well then I heard. Wow, I smelt something weird in the office today, and I was like, well, I'm gonna keep that to myself. And then Christina looks at me and she goes, "When you were near me, did I smell like poop?"
Oh my god.
And I was like, "Did you smell like poop?" She's like, "No, I said food." I was like, "Oh."
Oh, yeah.
I was like, no, but I do smell something weird. And then she and I proceeded to talk about how something stinks.
yeah.
There were 3 people behind us just quietly working at their
mystery smells.
And I was like, well, someone stinks. And then I sat down and I smelled it again. I was like, oh no, it's been me this whole time.
It could be.
And-
Wow. Plot twist.
No, but it can't be. I'm clean.
Oh no, I hugged you and I didn't.
I'm
get
washed in the
anything.
blood of Jesus.
Oh man, that's like that. That's like that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he's on that island.
He's like,
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm the
Shutter
crazy
Island?
person.
Shutter Island. Yeah,
Island.
you're the one that had BO. He's like, we got to get to the bottom of this. Someone's got some nasty BO. Every room I go into, there it is. Wait a second.
Shitter Island.
Your name is Stinky McShitterson. We've done this whole exercise
No.
just so you'd come to terms with how stinky you are.
No,
Please wash your ass.
it can't be. Anyway,
Do you wipe after you go number 2?
Like,
Wipe?
Wait, so my wife's not dead? What wife?
you're not
Wash
married.
your butt crack, please.
That's the.
What about my children?
I think that PSA would be good for a lot of people. Yeah. Wash your butt crack.
Oh yeah.
Wash your butt crack. When you're on the can and you're done pooping, you gotta wash your butt crack. Also, that last clap was like so offbeat. Wash your butt crack. Yeah, but did you know this? We were talking about this. I think we were. But wipes, flushable wipes, not flushable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are not to
They're
be
really
flushed.
bad for your toilet.
Can you
pipes.
imagine
big lie.
labeling something? Oh yeah, this food is totally digestible,
Oh yeah.
and it's not.
Yeah.
Like digestible food. Okay, well I should just trust that and eat that.
It's like car oil.
Yeah. Why'd you put it in your car? It said that it's what. Oh well, it's not. It is
not even close.
It's not even close. Flushable wipes, my ass. You know that's the
Yeah?
tagline.
That should be
Evan,
their
you're on
tag.
fire.
Gosh.
You're on fire coming up with taglines. What,
give me
what
the-
was your tagline?
give me
What
the-
was your tagline for the pants company Dickies?
Oh no, that was your tagline, man. I can't steal it. That was
No,
yours.
you had one of the.
No, I want to say that you had one that was. You should go first.
No, I will. Okay, I
Oh.
will say Evans. Evans was Dickies. Quit dicking around.
Was that?
No,
I don't think that was it.
It was Dickies. Get dicked.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was
I
Get
forgot it.
Dicked.
It was get dicked, which is terrible.
Get dicked.
Get
Yeah,
dicked.
and then
Get
mine
dicked.
was what was mine? Mine was
Cover
mine
your
was
ass
Dickies.
and-
Get some dick around your butthole.
Yeah, which
That's
it's
a terrible
not even
slogan.
like that's just saying something.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, pants do cover your butthole. So
I mean,
you
I guess
1,000%.
have
The,
Dickies
the science is there. folks.
on and
The
around
science
your
is there.
butthole.
on. Did you say it in around?
On, in, and around your butthole.
Not should never be in. Sometimes,
You know,
it,
sometimes it's like a
sometimes it
wedgie.
does.
Yeah.
Sometimes it
Get
happens,
a little.
but it should never.
Hey, if you're going commando and
Yeah, be grateful that your butthole isn't that hungry of a sphincter. You know, ever think about that?
hungry like the wolf.
Because imagine if it was just like, oh no, like once it gets activated, just like can't help but just start retracting like the stomach. It's like, oh shit.
You're just sitting there working.
Your
all the way,
underwear's like,
oh God. It's like a cramp in your
Yeah,
foot.
exactly.
And you just have to let it ride out for 30
Yeah,
seconds.
exactly.
If your butthole could cramp
Zoom,
and
zoom,
start just
zoom.
sucking in whatever is around and start just eating your underwear, and then you had to like pull it out.
Like, oh
You had
God.
to like wait till it relaxed and be like, oh yeah, okay.
Just like
There are so many things I'm glad our body doesn't do.
yeah. Thank God we're
Yeah,
made
like
the way we are.
like our buttholes suck up our underwear. Thank you, body.
Thank goodness.
Thanks for not doing that.
Oh, gosh, why do we always get onto this? I think we always have to have a subject sort of like this, at least once per podcast. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is the most immature podcast that every listener listens to. I guarantee it.
Has
There's
to
no
be.
way. There's no way they listen to a worse, more immature podcast than this.
My question is, and this is genuine. I feel like these are conversations that you probably have with your friends. You're hanging out. Do you think when they hear that they're like, man, I feel like I'm a part of that. I feel like I'm part, or do you think they're like, God, I hate that part? What do you think?
I bet it's a nice, healthy combination of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where they're like, it's like a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank
Where
you.
they're like, well, I would never openly admit that.
My
your
favorite
butthole
part of
eating
the
underwear is
episode.
funny.
Looks delicious. Yeah, you could include yourself in the things you want to be included in,
there
and
you go.
exclude yourself from the things you don't agree with. It's like
No,
any
I got
good,
all the
any
time.
good
life
friendship.
lesson. That's a
Yeah.
good life
It's
lesson.
like being part of the family.
Yeah.
It is.
Time out. Yeah, like you don't get along with that cousin. You just cut him off and never talk to him.
Yeah, you're like, I mean,
Trey, are you okay? Yeah. I'm being you for some reason.
okay.
I don't know why. I'm like, no, I'm talking for you. Trey, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
Do you not have a family of
Whoa.
your own to riff about?
No.
Whoa,
Your
that's a
family's
really
just so
good trade.
perfect. You're gonna make fun of my family.
Yeah, I had to put myself in your shoes in order to riff about a fan. Anyway. Anyways, that's a good GT.
Phil, you've outdone yourself.
Feel like
Not as good as my maple leaf cookies by Trader Joe's, but pretty close.
those are good though.
They are good.
Okay,
Little
so
kind of
someone else.
beverage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Trader Joe's,
Evans had them. Phil's had
Trader
them.
Joe's has some good snacks. The snacks, my favorite Trader Joe's like thing though, is got to be every fall they have this fall coffee. It's not pumpkin. I think it's maple flavored coffee. I think that's what it is, but it's very fall-esque. I stock up on it because it's seasonal. It is the it is the cozy. It is the cozy. Oh, that is really good. Now I can hear really well. It is the coziest feeling. I don't know how to describe it. And I hope one person's listening is like, I know that coffee, and because it's the kind of coffee, and I know this isn't going to be fun for people who can't see in the camera, but it makes you tuck your knees up like this, and then hold your cup like this, and then just talk about how good life is.
Just gotta stare out the window.
You know,
For
it
the
just-
listener at home,
Yeah.
right now, Evan has his feet on the couch, knees tucked up close to his chest, as his hands are smothering a delicious, warm maple coffee.
Did you guys watch Queen's Gambit? I did. It's really good.
I read the book. If you
That's what
if you drink coffee with both hands with your feet on the couch, that's your favorite thing to say.
I didn't realize it was
the
a
book
book.
was way better.
I didn't start playing chess after the show. I started playing chess before the show.
Did I tell you guys why I waited so long to watch that show?
Why?
I just finished it like last night. Phenomenal show.
Last night, the Queen's
Last night.
Gambit.
It's a
The Queen's
little
Gambit.
late.
I fought watching it because when I was a little kid, I was in the chess club in my elementary school. I loved chess. I was like I really got pretty good at it in elementary school, middle school. Got 4th place in my state tournament. Cried when I lost. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm not that good anymore. But you were such an outcast to choose to be in chess
Right.
club. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
a cool thing. Like it just wasn't.
Evan,
wasn't
how have you never talked about you being a chess
I don't know.
champion?
I should
chess
probably,
master.
Not a chess
A
master.
junior master.
I don't know. 4th place in the state of Montana has to be like 30 people.
If I played now against 4th graders, I wouldn't get in 4th place.
Here's the deal. Like I'm not that good now, but there was always this side of me with chess where like I loved it so much that when the Queen's Gambit, everybody was talking about chess. All of a sudden, it was the coolest thing. Chess sales went through the roof. Everyone's like, like watching YouTube speed chess players. I was like, where were you? Where were you? Hey, where were you 20 years ago? When like you don't deserve. So I, out of bitterness, did not watch the Queen's Gambit for a whole year. Finally watched it. Oh my gosh.
It's good, isn't
It's
it,
not-
man?
It's not even about chess.
It's more than
It's about
chess.
her
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great
yeah.
show. So for all the people who also haven't watched Queen's Gambit out of bitterness, go watch it. Great show.
Swallow your pride and
Just-
enjoy the ride.
If you also got 4th place in the Montana chess tournament,
Yeah, I, as a kid, got into chess as well. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It's like,
That's
oh,
great.
It's like, it felt like a real gentleman's game, and the strategy of it. And then, I just realized, like, I'm not good at this.
Yeah.
And then the Game Boy Color. Then I got a Game Boy Color.
Oh, it's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, wait, have you ever played baseball
I don't know.
in full premium color?
Dude, I was too busy playing Kirby on my Nintendo.
DS.
Oh
Pretty cool.
yeah. I was just whoop, 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 jumping up.
The DS was
That was the
fun.
life.
The DS was cool because I remember in this Mario game where you actually, in order to blow up a balloon, you had to blow on the screen because it would
Yeah, the
level-
microphone.
Yeah, because it would level the microphone.
Bro.
And I was like, this game is so
level.
immersive.
Yeah, I
So
remember
immersive.
getting a Nintendo DS and turn it on. It does the ding, 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 ding.
Whoa,
Dude.
goosebumps.
And I remember thinking I had Mario Kart. I had
Oh.
no, what did I have? I had Mario Kart. I had a Madden game.
Oh
and
yeah,
I
handheld Madden,
had-
fun.
Oh my god,
So fun.
and it was like the graphics were as good as my Nintendo 64, which to me was the standard.
Yep.
And I remember thinking in that moment, like, I will never be bored again.
Yeah.
Like, it's life is good now. I made it at 15 years old. I have figured it out, and yeah, and the fact that it was backlit and there was two screens and you could text each other. Before everyone had
yeah.
texting,
Wow.
you remember PictoChat? You could send messages to each other and you could send drawings.
So my cousins had a DS. That was the only time I got to, like, when I went to my cousin's house. So
Dude, you never had a Nintendo DS?
personally, no.
No version of it? Not even
No.
the DS Lite, the 3DS?
No.
Wow, man, you had a rough childhood. You got 4th place in your chess
Yeah.
tournament.
I was
You
too-
never
yeah.
had a DS.
I
But
was
if you
too
got-
placed getting my ass kicked by the, I think, the slightly autistic kid in 3rd grade. He
Dude.
was so good at chess.
Yeah.
And the thing is, flashback to this tournament. He is my last competitor. That's so mean that I called him autistic. God.
No, he probably
I think he kind of was a little bit.
I don't know him at all. I'm
He-
just like,
he-
no, it makes sense.
The problem is
Yeah.
if he,
Like
he anyway, he was the best in our chess club. Like, never lost in when anybody faced him. I go up against him. So if I beat him, I place, and that's all I wanted to get. I just wanted to, like, the 3rd place ribbon. I didn't want to win the whole thing. I just wanted to place.
Uh-huh.
And this kid, he freaking, I get his queen right. I get his queen early game.
Things are looking good for 3rd
And-
place.
But the cockiness of that screwed me over. I was like, once I got his queen, I started playing super aggressive, and he was a lot smarter than me.
Just spanked you.
I almost wonder if he did it on purpose. Kind of
Oh,
like,
like
that's what she
Isn't
did.
that called the Queen's Gambit?
The Queen's Gambit is, I
When
think,
you
the
Was he-
opening move is that where you opened up the pawn over the queen.
Oh,
think
I thought it's where
that's-
you give up your queen.
maybe it is. I don't know.
You know,
I
more
don't
than
know.
me.
I don't think that'd be a smart move.
It's
From
well,
what little I know about chess.
she's like the most powerful, but I remember in the show she had this idea of, like, oh, if I sacrifice my queen, he's gonna think, and he's like, you can't do that. It's just, bad sportsmanship. Or
Oh,
whatever.
really?
Something like that. He
Oh,
said,
it's
you
been-
you forfeit the game if you do something like if you actually try to give up the queen or something like that.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know.
I forgot that detail.
I'm not a chess master. I
Good
only got
show.
4th place. Anyway, there's
Moral
that story.
of the story of that show: do lots of drugs, and you'll be
Mhm.
good at chess.
Yeah, great moral.
Dude, what a tragic story, honestly.
Not true though. Yeah, like, right, that's not based off of a true event. That's a fictional.
Well,
I
Evan,
don't know.
every story is kind of based off a
kind of.
if you think about
Does,
it.
Well-
does Phil have a spare laptop or phone to look it up?
Phil,
He just walked-
You
Hey,
could not have timed it
I
worse
do.
because he was here, and then right as you asked that, I think it's based off a fictional book because none of the names, like Bobby Fischer was a big time, he was a big name in chess.
Well, Evan, they can change the names.
Oh, you. Well,
Yeah,
you.
that's true,
I mean,
but
Okay, is the
Anyone
Queen's
who's everyone
Gambit a
knows
true
Bobby
story?
Fischer.
I'm going no. I'm going fake.
The story itself is fictional and drawn from the 1983 coming-of-age novel from Walter Tevis.
Was it called The Queen's Gambit?
Yes.
Oh, that's a great
Ah,
name. It was a really
well
good name.
done.
Good title.
I have a hot take though.
Get in there.
I thought that the Queen's Gambit. Sorry, my mic is.
Yeah, nice. Tyson,
Wow.
Just the way
Got a
I.
hot mic and a hot take.
Sounds like you're scuba diving.
My bad. My bad. This mic sucks. I watched the entire show thinking it was a real story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And when I got to the end, I was like, oh, that was it was a decent show. But it was a true story, so that's why it was that boring.
Oh.
So
This
I'm
is
kind of a hater.
Very hot take.
I'm
Okay.
kind of a hater. I'm sorry.
Wow.
That's fair. Hey,
I'm surprised by that.
I had a joke, and it would never land. I thought of the joke while watching the show. I was like, how you turn a story that shouldn't be a limited series into one is you have your actors walk to the door. Anytime they're about to enter a room, they walk to a door and they stand there for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
They look at something very slowly, and then they walk to it, because that happens in that show,
dude.
Too many times. It's just
So much,
so long.
But it's like, come on, just make it a movie.
Yeah.
Or make it 3 episodes. You don't need to make it 7 episodes. I have the same complaint with
that's fair.
Euphoria, which I will come out and say that I've watched.
I've never seen it.
Okay. I watched Euphoria, guys, because I was alone in Spain. And I had nothing else to do. And I was like, I keep hearing how good this show Euphoria is. And I'm just intrigued by it. Now, this is the guy who has held out on Game of Thrones for 10 years now.
Still.
I've still never seen a single episode of Game of Thrones.
Good for you.
Because I don't want to see the things that Game of Thrones has to offer.
I like that.
Which I
The
know
movies.
are...
That's a good way to say that. No,
which
like what
I
you
know
said.
are similar themes that I've heard about Euphoria. Anyways, I got sucked in. I watched the first episode. I'm like, as soon as it's done, as soon as it gets boring or weird, I'm going to turn it off.
Yeah.
It didn't get boring. And I did keep watching. But dude, every other scene in Euphoria is her just running and crying, and she's just running at night, and it's the same freaking song playing over and over again, and her nose is running, and she's like high on drugs, and so it's like her running past storage units, and then it cuts to a wide of her running in slow motion, and the song's like, still don't know my name.
Is that Zendaya running?
It's Zendaya running.
Oh.
It's mostly Zendaya running. I
Yeah.
would say if you take a 50-minute episode, 20 minutes is Zendaya running down a dark alley with her nose running, and you thinking, oh, she shouldn't have taken those pills.
Oh, she's doing
man.
it again.
Oh,
Maybe
no,
drugs aren't a
Zendaya.
good idea.
Bro,
That's
don't
the
do
thing
it.
with limited series is they're like, oh, well, it's supposed to be 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Better milk it. I like Queen's Gambit. I kind of like the pace of it. I like a slower show sometimes. I wasn't mad. I will say you do see that a lot in limited series. So let's go to this. What do you, in your mind, the best limited series you've ever seen? And I say limited series because that means it's the idea of taking a movie, like a single story, and elongating it past a movie.
Like 7 episodes.
Yeah, instead of not like a show, not like a seasonal show, but if you guys have because I have one, but I want to hear where you guys go with this, and why.
Okay.
I'll start. I mean,
there.
I can only think of like the most recent ones I've watched, really, which is an HBO show called Our Flag Means Death, with Taika
That looks
Waititi.
very funny.
Oh my
very
gosh,
funny.
Our Flag Means Death is incredible. My wife and I watched
Did you
it,
know that
and
was a
we
thing, Phil?
love it. So yeah, Our Flag Means Death,
'Kay.
and then WandaVision from and like the Marvel.
Those are
because,
fun.
dude, when WandaVision came out, the internet after every single episode, the internet was like, okay, here are my theories, and I was here for it, man. So like, just
cool.
almost just for like the how it brought millions of people together.
Yes.
I would say WandaVision. So
I
yeah, those two.
remember
Our Flag Means Death,
that's
WandaVision.
That's a great answer. That's a
I
super cool
remember
reason, too.
Mitch during WandaVision. He was a very happy version of Mitch.
That's great.
Oh
I was like,
gosh.
Mitch, how's life? He's like, well, I'm I'm jogging, I'm eating healthy, and I don't know, I'm watching WandaVision. And
There's another episode coming out tonight. Oh my! And it was just the idea of like my wife and I being like, okay, let's watch this theory video, and then we're gonna find out, oh, who's Mephisto? Which one's Mephisto?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: there is no Mephisto. But everyone on the internet, because Mephisto is like the MCU equivalent of the devil. And so everyone's like, oh, Mephisto, every single week. And he never showed up. So that was kind of a bummer.
Well, isn't there going to be a season 2 for that? Or no?
I think so. I mean, there probably will be. And she's going to have her own movie, and she's going to have her own lunch boxes, and she's going to,
I love what okay, as much as people trash on, Disney Marvel, what they did of creating a large community that allows people to blog and how intertwine multiple projects. So not just one, series of one story. It's like this story attaches to the first Iron Man right here, which is why, it's just from a creative standpoint, being in a writer's room that is like, what if we dropped in the background this logo right here? And not everybody's going to see it, but it means this. And also, we're going to bring it back up in our future project as a bigger thing. That kind of playground.
Pixar are the
are
the masters of doing that. Like, I saw this clip from Monsters Incorporated where one of the doors the monsters opens, he like runs out, and in the crack of the door, all you see is this poster in the bedroom, and then this guy like goes and shows Toy Story 1.
Yep.
And it's Sid's room. He had that poster with the
Oh
same
my
layout and
gosh.
everything. So it's like they took something from 1990, 3, and put it in something in 2003. And like they just play with that universe. It's crazy.
Not to like
You can't
segue.
say-
I think this is a cool thing to kind of rabbit hole to go down, and then we'll get back to limited series. But in the concept of comedy writing as well, it's kind of like the ultimate callback. But I've also because I've thought about like this last year was I just studied a bunch of movies. Like I watched a bunch of old movies, old films, and then you're learning why the director made the choices that they did. And I think there's so much room for it in stand-up comedy, and you see it as a really good callback is kind of like that. James Acaster in his special, I think it's the last one, his last special of that 3-part series thing. He has this joke, can for the life of me not remember, but I think it's about a duck, but I remember, or a goose. I can't remember.
I know what you're talking
I remember
about.
laughing so hard when he nailed it, but I've had this like kind of that thought process of like, how can you kind of add these elements in your storytelling? I don't know. It's probably goes down to just a good callback, but there's something that, like themes. Okay, so in Secret Life of Walter Mitty, one of my favorite things about that movie is that the whole movie goes from blue to red. The whole, if you watch the movie, all the color grading is blues, and then the color grading at the end of the film is bright colors like red. And it starts when he chooses, like he lands in the airport in Greenland, and there's 2 rental cars. There's a blue car and there's a red car. And he says, which one would you like? And he goes, I'll take the red one. And so right as he chooses the red one, from there, the rest of the movie is way more, you see way more reds popping out than blues. But directors have so much fun thinking of like sitting down, building up those stories, not just the script itself, but like, okay, when we shoot the shot, this thing's going to be in frame. Papa John's, because it's going to pay for the whole movie, but we're going to have like, but we're going to have this thing in the scene here. And I think like there's got to be something you can do in every storytelling, but in comedy, that's the kind of like, that's why writing a set that has a theme, to me, I didn't do it. I didn't do it for this last show. I didn't do it the Dakota Fanning set, you know, but writing a themed set that really ties a whole bow around, like all your jokes are offshoots around this main arc. I think I want to dance with that.
It's a thing of beauty.
I want to play around with it. It could be fun.
That's super cool. Yeah.
It's a flippin' beauty.
My limited series. Okay, well, this isn't my favorite one, but it's like top that I've seen lately. It's called Midnight Mass. It's about
don't think I've seen it.
This island. We talked about it actually on my birthday pod when we did the podcast.
That's the
Yeah.
the vampire one?
Oh, the one that got ruined for you?
Yeah. But happy ending to that story. It didn't ultimately get ruined because literally they revealed it in the next episode.
Oh, thank God.
Which is like episode 4.
So it was kind of like okay.
Yeah. But yeah, super good. Super good. It ends like a little dark and depressing. But very good. What's another? You have another one, Mitch?
I was gonna say our flag. No, actually, I don't want to say anything.
Oh yeah.
Just carry on.
Were you going to drop another vampire spoiler?
Is that the one about the pirates?
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, I'm so excited to watch that.
It is beyond funny, by the way. I mean, in my opinion, it is absolutely hilarious. Anyway, so back to you.
Sick.
I was trying to think of what other limited series have I seen. I know that I'm gonna.
Well, that's the hard thing. I feel like we consume
There's a
so
lot of them.
much.
Yeah.
It's like it's hard to think of everything, every miniseries I've ever watched. It's like I don't freaking know, man.
The 2 that come to my head are the Waco, Texas one.
Dude,
holy freaking crap!
Yeah,
one of the best, just acting wise.
Yeah,
so good. Could not believe how that story went down because I knew the history of it a little bit. I knew that it ended terribly tragic, but I didn't know why. That show blew my mind.
Yeah,
and it was so well done.
Yeah,
and then another one. This is an older one, and it's got nostalgic things to me. Lonesome Dove. Dude, the 3 parts of Lonesome Dove. It's incredible.
Dude, I had
Western.
this 6 VHS.
Oh,
there's like 5 VHS.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. Oh,
that was that was amazing, and I can't believe my parents let us watch that.
Yeah,
it was very like they slept with prostitutes in like every single episode.
Yeah.
Well, prostitutes are biblical, so
yeah, you know,
it's in the Bible. It plays.
Regular old sex, no.
No.
But Robert Duvall getting a poke, as he liked to call it.
Yeah, that's right. They made it so casual.
He's like, I'm just gonna go upstairs and get a poke.
Get yourself a poke.
My parents like, he means sex.
It rhymes with Coke, so it's okay. It's like, can I get a Coke and a poke, please?
Little Coke and poke package.
I'll get some pork
for 2
get
gold
a Coca-Cola.
Did you guys ever get jealous of like cowboys, like it felt like it was so easy for them to buy things. They would just put 2 coins on the counter.
Still, to this day.
Wait, I think John Mulaney has a joke about this maybe. And it's Louis C.K. When they just slam money on the table. He's like, I'll take a hot bath and a shave and a woman and a bottle of whiskey.
That's so good.
And they're like, all right, whatever.
That's
sure.
a great observation.
It's like just 2 coins was enough for everything.
Covered it all. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, those are great
Dude,
shows.
money's weird.
Money is weird.
All right, go there.
If you think about it for 2 seconds, I remember someone a while ago was like, "Oh man, our money isn't backed by gold, so it's not worth anything."
That might have been.
I'm like, yeah, why?
On this
Why is
podcast.
gold worth anything?
Actually, I have an answer for you for why gold is now the standard. Now, there's this weird in the history of side of gold because gold has been like worshipped by Egyptians and I mean all sorts of cultures throughout history. Gold is like this wild thing that we like. However, in the 1800s when America moved here, gold was still like a huge standard.
Did you say when America moved here?
America moved here when we moved into America. Wow, the Americans. That's
When the real
Trey, with my
Americans got
history
here.
brains. When we finally took the land that is rightfully ours by God, with the Louisiana Purchase. Oh my gosh! When the
So wait,
Okay.
who's America?
the white people.
I couldn't
Clearly.
let that go.
No, we have to. When I meant to say, like when Western Europeans got here, but they in Europe, gold was still this very valuable thing. The Native American, but to Native American tribes, it was like, well, this thing doesn't make tools, it bends, it's not very useful. But why gold is today modernly like sought after? It is the most conductive metal, which I always thought is interesting. So it's the most useful for electronics. So all your microchips, your chips in your cars, your cell phones, all are using gold to transfer information as energy power. But what's so weird to me is that the thing that Egyptians worshipped, or the things that people were so attracted to, the shiny thing, is the most valuable when it comes to like electricity, and it's weird.
Well, dude, I think
That's
the Egyptians,
it's weird.
I
It's
think
weird.
they had gadgets.
They had to have.
Yeah.
They
I think
had
they had
gizmos.
machines.
Yep.
I think that a whole lot of Egyptian stuff like existed and then just got wiped away.
I
and
agree.
if you want to converge like conspiracy theories with like biblical history, I think that maybe it was the flood.
Yep.
I think that
Could
maybe
be. Could be.
guys, what if the flood is true from the Bible and the world was as advanced as it is now?
See, okay, here's the
And
thing.
then
Yes.
the flood happened.
This is I love thinking about this because let's go. Okay, can we kind of go into a biblical podcast for just a second?
Sure.
Just a smidge. I had this thought because talking about the Tower of Babel, I always thought it was such an interesting story. This is why I think it's interesting. You're building the tower. God in the Bible is like they're building the Tower of Babel, and He stops them. And I always thought, I was always preached, it's just because their vanity, their pride. They think they can reach heaven. But when God created humans, they were at the very beginning stages of like how humans were supposed to be made.
Mm-hmm.
Their intelligence had to be through the roof, of the physical and sciences, but also in the spiritual side of things as well. So I had this weird vision one time. I was like, what if the spiritual side of the world, like things, and the science things are so close that we just don't know it yet, but they're so close to each other, like praying for healings, all that stuff is all so close to each other on the science world that when they're building the Tower of Babel, these people are kind of figuring out like a portal system using science and spiritual in one way. And God's like, if I don't stop these people from constructing this tower in the way that they're doing it, they're going to achieve their goal, and I can't have them do that. And then
Wait. Why wouldn't God want them to achieve their goal?
Because their whole goal, I think in the story, it's they're trying to get to heaven. They're trying to make a tower to get to heaven.
Right.
And it's like at that point the earth's fallen, so he can't have sin enter into heavenly realms. He can't have a mix. And so there's this weird. But this is just all that to say is I do agree with you. I think watching old historical things about Aztec technology, planes. They believe that the pyramids like emitted a wireless electricity. Yeah, that's a
what?
Oh, this is a fun theory.
Apparently, Egyptians
Yes.
had batteries.
They did. They had batteries, but they also talk about, this is some theories, that they had wireless electricity. This is where I go into my conspiracy. That's so fun. I don't know. The pyramids are built over this aqueduct with a huge underground river, and that river emits electrons through its flow, just like we get electricity through a dam.
Right.
So there's this underflowing aqueduct river, and they built the pyramids right above this thing. And the pyramids were coated, ironically, in what? Gold. Super conductive. They were gold plated all the way down and had this, I think at the top. This is the theory. It would collect electrons that went off the, underground water. It would emit just a small power of electrons out into the air, kind of like, I feel like Nikola Tesla's more like his theory of like how to use electricity. There's the hieroglyphs of Egyptians holding staffs that have these things on the staff that look a lot like a light bulb, like so close to what a light bulb looks like, that if those electrons are in the air and you have that light bulb functioning the way it should work, it would emit a dim torch. It would be like a small torch, wireless electricity, quote unquote, but you have to have this power that's floating through the air, but I think somebody went and tested this thing out, and it lit up a light bulb. Like, it worked. I could be saying this all, somebody could Google this right after and be like, no, but those are the type of rabbit holes I love to climb down. So,
oh yeah, stuff like that is very, very fascinating. Like if you've ever played the game Assassin's Creed, that's their whole thing. Is like they had like super sick technology that kind of vanished type of stuff. I love that stuff. And like, I don't know how true that would be. I don't know how true it is, but you know what I did see? I saw a video. Because, like everyone, basically white historians are like, the ancient Egyptians could have never built pyramids. They never could have been that advanced. The technology was too hard, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, the bricks are too heavy to move.
Right.
Well, a bunch of Egyptians with ropes and wood, that's all they used, and I think water, moved a giant ass brick that people said was impossible to move. And all they had was like 20 dudes and some rope and wood, and they moved it. And so then the historical society, and I saw a video, the historical society was like losing their mind, because they're like, well, I guess they could actually build it if they had enough people.
Interesting.
Oh, I think people, a lot of alien conspiracies. No, people built that structure.
Well, I mean, they allegedly had millions of Israelite slaves.
Yeah, and if you have enough manpower, it's like, I feel like you could do anything.
The thing is, there's actually a lot of conspiracy that the pyramids were there long before Egyptian. Like, it was almost like the Egyptians built it around the pyramids. Like,
really,
it's kind of like that can't be fully true, though. No, that can't be right. I mean, I'm not sure. I think that, but it's like that, because I remember growing up. It's like, oh yes, well, the Jews built the pyramids. So like that's what I remember being taught. Yeah, not even Jewish people. Just the most racist way to. Is that racist to say the Jews?
No.
Oh gosh, Phil, we might have to.
They are a race.
I just feel like
it's not racist to say the Jew.
I felt dirty saying it though. I've been watching a lot of World War II. I don't know. I don't like. I like Jewish people. I think that's the more.
Jews.
Jews.
Much more kosher way to say it.
When you're not Jewish and you say the Jews, it feels. It feels like
sounds
I need
like
to
a team. Like, there go the Jews.
Anyway, but like there's
4,500.
Do they have like an actual
years old? Is what
it was dated to.
National Geographic says. They were constructed some 400. I hate some 4,500 years ago. That sounds like you need to learn how to talk.
And then they give a very specific, some 4,232 years ago.
Yeah.
Perhaps
by chance, maybe. Oh yeah, that's why I love history. I love history because I love mystery.
Wow.
Sign me up. The thing is,
are you about to go start your own podcast?
I could.
Called The Mystery of History.
Mystery of History.
Yeah.
Guys, I might.
He starts it blows up, gets way bigger than this podcast. I'm like, Evan, you should plug unpaid regulars on your
guys. I'd love to. I'm so busy though, just all this history stuff.
If I think
I'm talking about the Anglo-Saxons this episode,
I'd
so
love to,
died.
I've got Jack. What's his name? I was gonna say Jack Warner. I feel like that's the guy from. I feel like that's his name. Gosh. I'm snapping to try to jog my memory.
David Attenborough?
No. God.
Jack Warner.
He is, I believe,
the guy from who?
Jurassic Park. He is. That name came to me out of nowhere.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Because he was a archaeologist out of
Jack in the Box.
I'm snapping again. Museum of the Rockies. I don't know if that's true though. Jack Warner.
I'm picking up 0 reference points of anything you're talking about.
I mean, Jack Warner's not a very famous name. It's not a name that you just drop and everybody knows.
Everything is just gone over my head.
Well, it's like
Jack Warner.
Oh,
it's like the electricity used to in ancient Egypt.
Oh, there it is. Jack. Oh no, Jack Warner. Who the heck is that guy? What the heck? I don't even. Guys, let's just move on.
Maybe it's Jack Harlow.
Okay, I need to look. It's Jack something. I need to look up.
Hey, Phil, I think you're gonna need to cut this out. Just
No, they're gonna love this. You shut your Mitchell mouth. We actually know 100%.
Is Jack Warner.
100% should cut this out.
oh yeah.
Oh, guys, you're gonna hate how close I was. Jack Horner, Horner. He is an American paleontologist, most famous for discovering basically the T-Rex. He discovered a lot of, that's not true, but other animals, other dinosaurs. Museum of the Rockies. He spoke at our school, and I feel like
Jack Horn.
It's not a name. It's not a name that you drop, though. It's not a name that people know.
Wait,
like,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys
why
know
did you drop
Jack
it?
Horner. What was the context? I
You
can't
were talking
recall.
about your podcast.
Oh yeah, I'm saying like, oh, I'm
history
too
of-
busy. I have Jack Horner on
mystery of
tonight.
Oh,
It would have
you
been
went
good.
down that far,
God,
Dude.
still
to
not worth
rip
it.
about
10
your,
minutes
It
later.
wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth it. That sucks. That
Hey,
sucks.
at least it didn't happen on stage this weekend. That's
It al-
my nightmare. It's
it
just like
almost did.
when you blink
Oh
on
my
something,
gosh.
especially
Well,
if you're riffing and then
That was just a
Tonight
personal
before I
victory.
went on my open mic, I was like going over, I don't know, like 4 minutes for this mic. And I was going over my stuff. And my intro joke was, that talking about my lack of big dick energy. And then I was like, okay, I'll talk about,
Shoot.
and I was going on like 30 seconds. I was like, oh my God, what's my opening joke? But yeah, it went well. It was fun.
That's so fun.
that's good. Yeah, but like right before I went on stage on Saturday night, I was gonna say Saturday night, like on stage. I was gonna say Saturday night, and rehearsing it, I said Natterday sight, and I was like, and it screwed with me so bad. I was like, I can't get on stage. I can't get on stage.
Oh wait.
I forgot how to talk. I literally forgot how to talk.
Natterday
like-
sight
But then it's like
blind.
once you're on stage, like your focus is like all going to
it's-
what you're doing right now. So it's like you would never say Natterday sight.
Oh, it's such a good feeling. Yes, I love that. That feeling is maybe the most addictive feeling. I love
Being on stage?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there
Oh,
anything
God.
you guys would compare it to?
Yeah.
Like what could you compare it to someone who's never done stand up or never been on stage like that?
I don't know if I can because my own experience is like other stage experiences. I'm like, what was I? I'll try to think about that. But we were talking about when we were practicing with the spotlight on. I was like, oh, I love this. And that sounds like the most like, literally, could you sound more like a douchebag? I love the spotlight. Oh, God, I love it. Let it be on me. No, actually, from a scientific standpoint, the spotlight, how it kind of blinds you just a little bit to where you just see like faint faces.
absolutely.
I love the faint face that I can't quite, there's not a lot, because there's a crowd.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first big laugh I ever got was at a high school talent show of like a thing. And it was a big auditorium full of people, and we were the MCs, so we came out and told jokes before, and then this. And I'll never forget when you tell, it was my first experience with telling a joke and then hearing a loud eruption of laughter. You're like, and I will never do anything else for the rest of my life.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
It's such a, that's probably an addiction to something unhealthy, but
Yeah. Well, okay. I have a
It's so
very
fun.
lame answer for like what it's compared to. I was never good at science back when I was in school, but one time I studied my ass off for this biology test because my family was living in like a 2-bedroom house at the time, like all 7 of us. And so I had nothing to do but study. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to study. And I took the test, and it's like every single question I knew the answer to.
yeah.
And I had so much confidence with that test. I was like, oh yeah, I know that. Oh yeah, I know that. Oh, and I was breezing through this test, and I feel like that's kind of like the feeling of like when you're prepared on stage, of being like, yeah, oh, I know this.
Yeah, you gotta be
no
prepared.
matter what happens, I got the answers.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
like
feel like
a-
that's kind of
It's like a state of flow. It's like you are,
yeah.
what you need to do is like meeting up with what you're prepared to do. But then with comedy, as opposed to a science test, like, but then you also love to do it.
Yeah, and
so
that-
it's
and
like
that-
you're
that's
rising
the-
to the
there's-
occasion. So it's like the spotlight is almost like the symbol of like, this is your moment. Like the spotlight is everyone like looking at you, right? And so
Yeah.
it's like, what are you gonna do when the spotlight's on you? And then it's like, I mean, think about it. Like there was 100 people each show. In that moment, everyone is looking at you, and you can either like bite it or you can deliver what they're expecting. And that's what makes stand-up really hard, is that they're expecting you to make them laugh.
Yeah.
And that's what I think
you
so
told
many
them that you're going to do.
Right. So I feel like people get on stage for the first time. They don't realize how hard stand-up is because they think, oh, I'll go out there and just be a funny guy. And it's like, that doesn't work. There has to be like a structure to it. And that's what makes it, at least for me, so addicting, is like how hard it is. So then when you do deliver and you get that response, like that laugh, you know, and like it pops off, then there's nothing else like it. And then you string several of those moments together, and then you string 20 minutes together, 25 minutes, whatever, then it's like, yeah, it's definitely the coolest feeling. Similar to your story, I had my first experience of it was what made me want to continue doing that. I was probably, I think I was 20. I think I was a sophomore in college, and I got invited to audition for this improv group. It was a sketch comedy group called Friday Night Live. You know, it's like every school has Friday Night Live, where it's like,
that's a good name.
Like SNL, but it's on Friday. And so I had never performed before on stage, but I started tweeting a lot. And so many people started like following me on Twitter at my college because like, Trey has funny tweets. Trey, I didn't know you were a funny person. And so that's how I started writing comedy, was on Twitter. And then, so from that, this guy from a different fraternity invited me to audition for FNL. And I was like, oh, I would never be good enough to get on FNL. You know, they're hilarious.
What's so funny is every time you say that.
Like I'm saying with a list.
Yeah, like,
and FNL.
I would love to be on FNL.
I would love to be on your show, FNL.
Me? Really? For FNL? I don't know.
Are you super serious? I could be on FNL?
No, you are pulling my leg. You're pulling my leg.
I'm so sorry, Trey. Continue. Keep going.
So FNL.
So FNL. And I auditioned, and it went well. And they're like, all right, you're in the group. We need every cast member to write 2 sketches. And I wrote 2. And both sketches got picked up. That was another huge win. They're like, I'm like, these are gonna be performed on stage. By the time it got to the show, one of them got cut, but one of them made it, and it was called sensualsingles.org, and it was about a committee, like a boardroom of a dating website called sensualsingles.org.
Love it.
And and yeah, I don't really remember many of the lines, but I do remember getting to play a character. I played a character who was deaf. And I'm sure, oh my God, I am sure if I looked back on it now, watch my performance, I would be like, shoot me in the head right now. I know
of course.
But
can't do
thankfully,
that,
we didn't, like Twitter and or not
you
Twitter,
couldn't
like
get
Instagram.
you couldn't get canceled yet.
Yeah. Well, that was like 11 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, this was 12 years ago. Or 11 or 12 years ago. So anyways.
Different time.
Then, so I did it, and so it was like 300 people in the auditorium, and the whole sketch, like everything that I remember writing down on my computer, laugh, like a huge laugh that just like shook the whole auditorium.
Yeah, you're like, let's
and
go.
And then we finished the sketch and everyone like cheers and like applauded and stuff. And I was like, wow, okay, that's what I want to do.
I can do this.
Yeah. I was like, there's literally what other job can you have where that's part of your job, and then you're done, and then maybe you get money from that, you know?
Pretty wild.
Like that's pretty worthwhile, a pretty worthwhile thing to pursue.
Totally.
Career-wise, so.
Well, I'll give my first laugh story, although none of you gave good analogies to doing stand-up. I'm the only one who gave an analogy. Everyone else was like, yeah, stand-up is cool, isn't it?
I said the spotlight thing. I was like, the spotlight is people looking at you. And
yeah, spotlight's all part of stand. Okay. But okay, so my story real quick. It was like a 5th grade end of year play. And I was this American businessman. And this was back when I was in England. Yep. And in my character, like there was this like bidding war or something. And the thing, I came on stage at the last second and I was like, $3 million. And for some reason, everyone laughed. But like every time I was on stage, everyone was losing their mind. And like all the parents came up to my parents and were like, hey, Mitch is like, why is he like funny? Like, why did I actually laugh at this? And my parents were like, oh, I guess he's talented. But you're talking about FNL, and I want to talk about SNL as it is right now for like 5 minutes or so.
Okay. Do a tight 5 on SNL.
Yeah.
Trey, I think Trey's watched some episodes recently. Evan, have you watched any?
The only SNL I watch is Instagram. Just that when they, because I follow them on Instagram. So when they put, I never watch it live. I always watch just like their Instagram posts. And I kind of skim through them. But yeah, no, I'm up to date with.
So do the cast members.
Yeah,
Yeah. Name all 29,000 cast members they have right now.
This is eye contact on an SNL skit. It's just not.
I know. On the
look
cue
into my
cards
eyes. Yeah. Look into my eye. I love your eyes. He said while staring off to the side. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the question I want to ask. If you were in charge of SNL, what would you do to fix SNL? Because in my opinion, I've watched SNL religiously for like 12, 11 years now. And every season, people are like, oh, it's not that funny. And I'm like, no, it is funny. It's just as funny as it used to be. You just remember the good episodes from previous seasons. But this is the first season where I've been like, yeah, it's not good. Like I watch every episode and there's like, it's not good.
All right, go ahead.
The thing is, I'm like, you need to find, they haven't found, each season is carried by some very vital people. You've got your Will Ferrell, he's vital. You've got, but even let's go to Andy Samberg. Let's talk about how important Lonely Island was for SNL. Having a production team like Lonely Island, create their digital shorts and create that name, that name digital short. I think that's got to be coined by
the first time I heard it was I'm on a boat.
Was SNL digital short?
Digital short.
SNL digital short, so brilliant. But if I was a producer to fix I think they're kind of on the right track. To be honest, I think they hired these comedians from TikTok. I think they're pretty freaking funny. Those sketches are they always, for me, I'm always laughing at that sketch because and that's smart. So I think they're on probably the right track for that.
Are those your boys, Mitch? The guys that
the Please Don't Destroy guys.
Yes.
Please Don't Destroy are hilarious.
So funny. The best part of SNL, I think, right now is that. Yeah. Because it's
relevant
by a
mile.
And it's
by a mile.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't know. For me, I mean, being more of a conservative person, it's like they couldn't. You've got Joe Biden, who is the funniest thing to make fun of maybe ever, and they don't hit him as hard. Like back when Will Ferrell was there, everybody got it. Like and I know they've always been a more liberal side thing, but everybody deserves to get laughed at. And it became so much more of like we're using SNL as a tool to shoot down this thing than actually focus on comedy. So I think that hurt them a lot. But as what I've seen lately, sketch-wise, of course, I don't know how you fix the sketches, but the TikTok guys, great move, super smart.
Oh, yeah.
And their social media presence. But over you, Trey. What do you got?
So one of my points is on board with what you're saying. There's two things that I would do if I had to like guess, and like if I was the president of the show. If I was Lorne Michaels, what I would do is absolutely I would fire everybody.
Wow.
Everybody from the cast and start completely fresh. And I would look at TikTok and I would look at podcasts and all that kind of stuff. And I might keep a couple of staples. I don't know. But but I'm going to say just everyone, just for the sake of the argument. And I would hire cast members with varying POVs on life.
You have to.
It is so boring to watch everyone tiptoe around the same talking points and the same script. It's like, if you are an artist, you're going to be more progressive. Just like, like that's just how it skews. Like more creative people are center to left. Right?
Absolutely.
Like, and for the most part. So that's fine, but at least have someone who has a different perspective than just being like, oh, everything that every CNN talking point, those have to be the ground rules.
Exactly.
It's like that is not. If you look at the guys who are making really funny shit right now, it's guys who SNL would never hire because they would say the wrong thing.
Yeah, because it's too far.
Right.
It's like you are a comedy show and you think that certain comedians are pushing it too far. Like Kyle, do you guys know who Kyle Dunnigan is?
Kyle Dunnigan and Kurt Metzger.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely,
Kyle Dunnigan makes me laugh so friggin' hard with his online show.
Yeah.
Oh, Kyle. Yeah.
So funny.
Yep.
And so, and I think you're just disqualifying yourself from a lot of talent if you're like, we can only have one specific kind of person. Or you are silencing really funny ideas and brainstorming. And I think that humor can really only happen when people are just allowed to share their ideas that are going to be different than other people's ideas.
Yep.
So I think you have to like forget the idea of like, just like being in a complete agreement with one political ideology. The other thing I would do is I would move it off of broadcast television, and I would put it on a streaming service. So if I were NBC, I would
big
make it,
moves by
I would
Trey.
keep it live.
Yeah.
It's still live, but
Yeah.
you can only watch it streaming on Peacock, because then it can be rated R, and then it doesn't have to be
that's
or
brilliant.
not even rated R, but just doesn't. You don't have to worry about what does network broadcast television. What are those rules? Because those rules are kind of antiquated now. They're like, oh, don't say that because everyone can see it. Guess what? 9-year-olds are on TikTok. They're seeing everything.
Yeah.
So those rules are old, but the people who still watch broadcast, they will call in and complain if you say shit on live TV, or if you make a joke about like that's complex and offends like, you know, the 50-year-old moms and dads watching it or whatever. But guess what? As soon as you go on Netflix and you watch something, you understand I'm watching this at my own risk. Like there's no rules out here. So those are the two things that I think SNL should do.
How many people are watching SNL a weekend live? How many people are sitting through the commercials?
I actually checked the
Mitch
numbers.
and the cast.
I was curious.
Yeah.
Do you actually have the numbers?
I think I'm the only person, and I don't even watch it live. I watch it like on Hulu, like the next day normally.
Yeah.
But I think the numbers right now are like 4 million or something like that.
That's not a lot.
And yeah,
No,
for
that is not a
what
lot.
it is for
For what-
SNL, it's not a ton. Like I'll check out on the numbers because I forget who hosted the last episode, and it's like getting to the point where it's like SNL is my dream and my goal and everything I've set my heart on, and it's like,
ooh, you're hard on.
yeah, and it's like I don't know, it feels like a bad dream now. Like it's such a show that I don't laugh at.
Yeah.
That it's like
The thing is, you don't know what's gonna come. So, for example, I mean, you go from National Lampoon magazine, which legitimately turns into SNL in a weird way, or like you have that he starts his magazine that gets a collection of funny people around it, and then a producer has a good idea and is like, hey, what if we got these funny people and made a show out of this? Like, you have no idea what the industry's next move is going to be. And that's one thing I think SNL is such a huge name, and the idea of having a live audience is still, I feel like the pendulum swings on what works. I think in a weird way, live audience stuff could swing back but my thing is live stream it, like get live streams plugged in.
The live thing is important for sure.
It is huge.
But I'm just saying,
because
just
there's that pressure
service.
on, and like if somebody messes up and they have to keep going, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
My idea for a show, which I think would be so fun to one day produce, is just a live streamed comedy show. Like, but the thing is, you could do it from anywhere. It doesn't have to be, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like networks are kind of dying. I think they are on the hunt big time for things, and it's the problem why SNL isn't funny. I think not always. Sometimes it hits. Is because it's not because you know that those comedy writers are probably super funny. Mm-hmm. You know that they have probably some of the best ideas ever. Yeah. They bring it up the ladder. The ladder goes, okay, this is actually pretty good. They bring it up to the next person. And the person goes, well, we can't say that, can't say this. And then they bring it to the next person. Then this executive has no idea about comedy, says, well, what if you did this?
Yeah.
And then they have to do it because they're the one who has the money, who controls the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
And so your comedy gets stifled. That's why I think Kyle Dunnigan's show works so well, because he is the only one in control of it.
Right.
However, I think you could go one more level up, and if you created a show that had that heart still, I think in the live stream world, if it was really good and it was, I don't know, you had some good marketing behind it, I think you could probably kick ass. That's my opinion.
Mitch, what are your ideas?
So, get ready for a rant.
I was gonna say, there's no way you asked and didn't have your own answer.
So, I think a part of the problem is a lot of comfortability. You know, Trey, you were like, you'd get rid of all the cast. I wouldn't get rid of all the cast, but I would get rid of anyone that's been on the show for 8 or 7 years, because that's normally when people's times expire. That's the prime time to be at SNL. At 7 years, that's like Will Ferrell was there for like 6 or 7 years. Bill Hader was there for like 7 years. You know, Fred Armisen, like the cast that we love, like Sandberg, Kristen Wiig, all of them, they were there for like 7 to 8 years. Yeah. So I would get rid of anyone, and that's including Michael Che and Colin Jost. Who are, and don't get me wrong, I love Michael Che and Colin Jost on Weekend Update, but they are also the head writers, and there is a huge problem with all the sketches. And my main problem with the sketches is that you look at past SNL, what made SNL really famous are incredible characters
Yeah.
and impression-based sketches. They're not doing any of that. The most frustrating thing watching SNL right now is these gimmick sketches that they do, where it's like they'll do a sketch and they have a dog on stage, or they'll do a sketch and they have a silly costume, and it's like, no, that should not be the meat and bones. Oh, and also when they just sing stuff in a sketch, it's like, good God, like they had 2 sketches in last week's episode where they just sang. It was like they're like, oh, there's cabaret, we're gonna sing stuff, and it's like, it wasn't clever. It's like singing mundane things doesn't make it funny.
No.
And so I would get rid of any old cast member. I would start trying to come up with some characters. And I would also limit the cast, because there's like 20 or so cast members. There should only be 12 or 13. And I love the fact that they have diversity. I love the fact that they have Bowen Yang and Ego Nwodum. Like, they're incredible.
Yeah.
But they need to limit the cast, because there are cast members that won't get in a sketch at all. And it's because, there's 50 other people.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to get on stage?
I think that you hit on something there too. I think it's great to have diversity, but it probably does get to a point of like, we have to have one of everything or something.
That is how the industry is built.
But I also think that, what if you had this? You might not like this one, Mitch. I'm just thinking as we go. What if you had a rotating roster where it's like you
Like
actually
teams?
you had like 2 different teams,
Like every other week? they
yeah,
switch?
because
I
then
like
because then it gives
that.
one team 2 weeks to come up with
Oh,
stuff.
I love that
I don't know.
idea.
I know
You
it
wanna
goes
know
against
what-
the old fashioned.
you
Like
wanna know
every
That's
week you
interesting.
got to be hitting.
You know,
but I'm like, if
ooh.
you're gonna have 30 cast members, how about you don't need 30 in 9 sketches? You just need 15, and then you have an A team and a B team. You wouldn't call them that.
You would have better sketches,
Yeah.
though. You would have better written material, because it was you
You-
had
you know,
2
I
weeks
mean-
to do it.
I think you
That's
might, and I
interesting.
think that's another thing. Like, just like, I don't know, their sketch, the way they pick sketches right now is just very poor, and that's why I'd get rid of Michael Che and Colin Jost, because they're the ones making the final decision. They are the head writers,
I didn't know
and they
that.
pick what stays and goes, and they're not doing a good job. And honestly, I've been noticing a decline in quality of sketches since they've been head writers.
Well,
But it wasn't as drastic as it's been this season.
Yeah, they've also taken over in like the most tumultuous time to be in the public eye. So they're probably approving sketches like they're scared to lose their job.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I'm sure that
Yeah,
they are.
and you know, like
100%.
I
Kills
agree with what
comedy.
you were saying about like it being
And-
too politically one way or the other, because I definitely lean liberal, like super liberal. But yeah, when you see it in every sketch so blatantly, it's like, like Evan, what you were saying about making fun of Joe Biden, like, like I do a Joe Biden impression,
Because you can't not.
of him explaining how to play Monopoly, and
So funny.
and everyone eats it up because it's funny. And because
yeah.
it's like, and they should be making fun of Biden a little more. And I'm not saying a ton more, but they definitely, because it's like, they'll make fun of him for like a second.
Yep.
And then, but they're like, but he's a good president. And it's like, I mean, even the liberals don't like Biden, like,
no, it's like
eat him up.
nobody. Yeah, I don't know.
The fact that we have like an 80-year-old president who has a stroke on stage every single time he's on television.
I mean, that's
and we're
comedy.
like, oh, don't talk about it.
Well,
I'm
we
like, are
can't-
you joking?
Like,
me?
how you not?
Yeah.
With the video of
Well,
him
and-
wandering
and
around
like,
just by himself, poor guy.
yeah.
All his
Well,
friends
and
just hanging
especially,
out,
like-
and he's just like staring at a flag.
Dude, he just like
Oh.
looked and he didn't know what to do, and he's like,
When he's trying to get Barack Obama's attention, I'm like, dude, I understand that. As a youngest brother, I know what you're going through.
I felt
Well,
like that
and
at my
that's
own
the thing,
birthday
like-
party before.
Dude, I watched a lot of older SNL, and I watched when Obama was first president. They had Fred Armisen doing an impression of him, which, like, okay, that's gross and weird. But
I remember that.
they made fun of Obama a lot.
Yeah.
Because this was when Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize after just being elected president. Like, he hadn't done anything, and so SNL ripped him for that. And it's like, yeah, because that's funny. And
Right,
that's
yeah,
true.
right.
And so, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think they should rip the shit out of Trump. I didn't like him either.
Yeah.
But it's to the point where it's like,
I mean,
it is
plus-
clearly
Like,
tilted.
Trump is a fantastic character, though, too.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
I mean, could you ask for more? I mean, you couldn't.
no, you like, honestly,
You
as
literally couldn't
an
do it.
impression, you couldn't ask. Quite frankly, you couldn't ask for a better president. Okay, folks, can we talk about that?
Down to the hand movements, just the.
I know. I know,
mean,
man.
It's 100% the
whatever.
funniest president.
I mean, that's
I know.
I mean, Alec Baldwin's impression
He's the
freaking
cartoon
hilarious.
character.
Alec Baldwin's impression of
Dude.
Trump is fantastic.
I think.
Oh,
Oh God.
keep
sorry.
going.
Last thing I'll say.
Yeah.
No more celebrities doing political impressions. I hope they never do that again. Even though
What
Alec
do you
Baldwin
mean?
was good.
Oh, you mean just
So-
having
so-
like guest
so-
appearances doing?
So Alec Baldwin did Trump for like all 4 years, basically.
Yeah.
But then they were like, hey, you know what? Anytime there's a political figure in the spotlight, we need to have a celebrity do an impression of them instead of a cast member.
Right.
And it's like, oh, so you're taking even more opportunities away from cast members. So even though he did do a great job as Trump,
oh,
like
where-
I hope they never do that.
There's a
again.
new guy though doing Trump that's great. He's very funny.
Oh my gosh, he does Trump and Biden.
Yeah.
Was Tina Fey a cast member when she did Sarah Palin?
I think
Ooh.
she technically just
she was
left
done.
the show.
Yeah, okay.
But it was like
but
so recent
then-
that it was like,
was Will Ferrell a cast member when he did George Bush?
I believe so.
oh yeah,
yeah.
he
Oh,
was
gosh,
definitely a cast
Those
member.
were funny.
Yes, that's kind of a staple. But yeah, if they were cast members or cast member adjacent, that makes more sense.
I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing. This is my opinion because I used to have when I was a little kid growing up. Be like, oh, I want to be on SNL. Like, that's what my dream is.
Mhm.
I think I've learned about myself. I'm like, I could never do New York personally. I couldn't do that. But I love what that show does. Like, I love what it did. I love like how you're bantering with your friends and you're quoting stuff. Like you're quoting jokes. I love what the connection allowed you to have.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
think the same thing about Key and Peele sketches. I think about that.
Mhm.
And I, for my more dream more recently is like, and when just talking to people, talking about how shows are made and just learning more about that. I'm like, well, why don't we just make one? Why don't we just make our own show? That's kind of one thing I love about unpaid regulars is that I'm not saying that like, watch out SNL, here we come, here we come. But like the idea of being around people that you actually enjoy is huge. That you feel comfortable to share your thoughts with without being like, fired. Just because we had a really good interview with Scott Dickers. He spoke at our school. He was the creator of The Onion. And then just really cool story. Super cool, down to earth guy, rad dude. And a kid in our class asked him. He said, like, what is one thing about LA that you thought was, was LA what you thought it was like, or Hollywood? Like, he's like, I always wanted to be in Hollywood or work in Hollywood, and then I quickly learned that Hollywood is just a bunch of monkeys in suits that have money that pay for things, but they kill art really fast because they don't know it. They don't understand funny. They don't understand it, but they have money. So he learned, he's like, I would rather have Hollywood ask for me than me ask for Hollywood. So he just started working his butt off, creating his own stuff. He's actually, if you look at his story, it was very much of him just like, he busted his butt, made his own things, and when it got recognition, Hollywood asked for him to, for help for writing jokes or for this or for that. And I was like, that's not everybody's going to ever get there, and that's probably a freaking really hard route to take. But in my mind of, personal dreams, I'm like, that's probably more like it. Create something that gets a small community, that gets people rallied around it, that, has the potential in the future to grow into something super cool. I don't know. I'm a sucker for the Pixar story. I'm a sucker for like, I was sleeping under my desk. It wasn't working. It was going terrible. And then all of a sudden this happened. So the idea of like starting something from scratch, just in today's climate, with the way I view the world and what the things I believe, I don't think I'm going to be trying to knock on any of the major network doors, if that makes sense. It'd have to be more of a claw our way up
More
from
of a grassroots kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I think it would be way better to start your own thing and then it gets noticed than, be like, I'm going to audition to try to be a part of this thing.
Sounds exhausting.
I mean,
Oh, see that's the I guess I view myself. Yeah, I don't have the drive or like I just don't want to create something like that.
Oopsies.
Like for me, it's like I want to be in that,
Right.
but I don't want to make it. Like I want to be in a sketch, but I don't want to get the camera together. And like, I'll do that right now.
Yeah.
To get noticed. But the idea of like making a show, I don't know. But like Evan, what you were talking about,
sorry to clarify, I don't want to make the show like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
No, I have actually learned the past couple of years how much I don't actually love just video production in its purest form. Like there are some guys who just if they get a boner when they see a C-stand, you know, they're like, oh my God, like I'm get my grip gloves out. I'm gonna set up some lights and some flags.
I got my gaff tape.
We're gonna bounce this light, and you're not gonna believe that. I'm like, gag me. Like let's get to the joke. Like I just want to make people laugh, and that's actually why I've actually come to enjoy stand-up even more the last couple of years, because I'm like, I see what it takes to make a video, like a sketch, and it's a lot of fucking work. Like you have to write the funny sketch, then you have to cast it, then you have to get the equipment. If you don't have it, you have to rent it. That costs a lot of money. Then you have to get everyone's schedules together. Then you have to shoot it, direct it, act it. Hopefully the actors say it the way that you wrote it, and hopefully the other actor responds the way that actor. Like there's so many variables. You have a joke where it's like set up a punchline. It's that simple, and everyone would laugh. And now you just added, you know, the whole alphabet of variables into that. And by the time you watch it in the editing bay, you're like, this isn't even funny. Yeah. It's like, and there's not a worse feeling. That it's happened to me so many times. And so I'm like, you know what? That doesn't happen in is stand up, because literally you write the joke, you get on stage and you say it, and if it doesn't hit the way you wanted, it's your fault, or maybe you had a crazy crowd, or maybe you're at an open mic in Redding, California. Either way, like there's a few things you can tweak, and you know, to get it to where you want to go. And so, I have no desire to like make a whole show. I'm just saying like comedy. Like I would rather just create my own momentum. If it's doing this podcast, if it's doing stand-up shows, if it's writing, whatever it is, like creating that momentum and then getting noticed, rather than knocking on the doors of 30 Rock. I mean, the Empire State Building.
I mean the Statue of Liberty's toenail.
See, that's me. That's what I'm like, oh, get knocked.
No,
but
that's
Evan, what you were talking about,
super
of like,
cool.
of like people relating over a sketch and people like talking about a sketch. It's like, that's what I want SNL to be again. Like I want SNL to be delivering Van Down by the River material again, you know, and like, because that is magic. Yeah. And there are a few things better than that. And so, and so I think that's why it makes me sad when I don't laugh at SNL. It's like, because it's like, this is not what it was meant to be.
Right.
It was meant to be this gargantuan, incredible thing that everyone in America laughed at all at once.
Mitch, do you think there's room for something else to provide that though? Like besides SNL, or do you think it always has to be SNL?
Oh yeah, no, I mean it doesn't have to be SNL, but I think SNL is just the standard. Yeah. I mean, and it has been for the past 45 or 47 years, however long the show's been on for. But like yeah, what you were talking about, like Key and Peele, and before that, In Living Color, Mad TV. And then, you know, like movies and TV shows, like what Aaron and I are watching Abbott Elementary right now. Like that's a hilarious TV show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've actually really wanted to watch that show. That looks freaking hilarious.
10 out of 10. It's right up there with Parks and Rec.
I gotta watch that. That looks even a show is gonna be good when like the commercials are making like live. Like, that was a commercial on network TV. Okay.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I first saw the first ever commercial for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I was like with my ex-girlfriend, we were like watching the Super Bowl or something, and I laughed out loud, and everyone just stared at me. And I'm sorry.
This is gonna be good. I just know it. It's gonna win some Emmys. I love it, guys. I love those chats because
I'm glad we had that,
because that's I mean, it's the big question. That's why I love this. That's why I love what we're doing here. I really. It was super cool post show to have people come up to, we talked about this, but have people talk about, oh, I love this joke that you worked on. They actually listened to the podcast, and you're like, it doesn't matter how many people are actually listening. It's sick that we had like 5 people. Be like, I was like, that joke was at the very end of the podcast. Wait a second, I know what that means. I just love that. I think my journey. Hate. Can we come up with some more words in English? Process, season, journey, kill me dead. But my realization.
Phil, you want to beer me with the
little G&T
can?
Oh, nice.
Wait, was this yours, Evan?
No, I don't. Was it?
It was for you.
Do you want to split it? Do you want to do a little split? Because I don't want a whole one.
I don't want a whole one.
I kind of was, but I didn't. The only thing was like I didn't want to open it thinking that like. So if Trey wants to split it, I'm into it.
Let's split it very.
Let's go, because I wasn't like wanting the whole thing. Oh yeah. The thing is, because we had so many classes in at Second City where we're talking about like a film and just general and where it's going. Yeah,
I don't know what half is because yours didn't foam and mine foamed.
that's perfect. We were just talking about where the industry is going, and this is my idea for a show. Why I think it would be so fun. I understand I love that about stand-up because it is fast and quick. But if there is an idea in me, like I want to make a show at some point.
Oh yeah,
like with friends, and it would be cool. But with social media, the way we have it right now, what would be kind of like what he did in Atlanta. He tweeted. He was making
Donald Glover.
Yeah, Donald Glover was making tweets before the show ever came out as the character from the show or something like that. The idea of using all the medias that you have access to stem into one big project. I have this idea for a show called The Wilder Boys. It's about 3 country brothers who write country music. The idea would be you have 3 brothers who write songs, but so you actually are going to release a real album on Spotify and Apple Music. Then you are going to make a bunch of TikToks as those characters doing shenanigans in life on TikTok. Then you're going to have them have a Twitter. They're tweeting as the characters, like almost like, but you know that they're actors. And then you release the show that you filmed that encompasses everything that you're seeing. That way, you literally, because imagine if I could tweet Ross from Friends or talk to him, or if I could talk to a Brooklyn Nine-Nine character, bring them into the world in a way that you're like, oh, that character is not real but exists. Yeah. And then I see them in that show and they make me laugh. There's so much to play with live streaming and Twitch and all the things you could do possibly. Like the fact that we are sitting down right here with microphones, headphones, this stuff gets recorded, put onto a place where people can watch it, people can listen to it. Not like 20 years ago, to have this kind of equipment, you had to be part of like a legitimate studio. Like you didn't have these things. We have so much access to create. Oh gosh, that's just like, why not just make it?
Yeah.
Why not just do
Why
the
not
thing?
just do it?
Why not just do it? But money. That's
I can say
Yeah.
When it comes
$30,000 per episode.
Found my answer.
That's usually it. Funding, but this is a good time to
Guys,
talk about our Patreon.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've been going for a sec. Do you guys even have any jokes this week that you want to go over?
I mean, I definitely have jokes. We could do a quick little one each, maybe.
Yeah, I think I
Quick
have
little
one.
one each.
I have one that I didn't bring up.
I have like 2 half-baked nothings that I think I could
Ooh,
do.
it's my favorite cookie. Half-baked nothing.
Oh, I might have brought this up
Half-baked nothing.
when we talked about it. How long have we been going for? Hour and a half?
We started pretty late, I think.
That's right. Sorry, guys. That was on me. They offered me free food, and I was like, I can't say no. It was cool.
Dude, free food's the best food.
I was like, I can't say no.
Should I start, or do we want to wait until we all have our bits?
I want to focus.
I just wanted to open my.
I want to focus on. I'm having a tough time finding where I put that one. One sec. Sorry.
Evan, you have like an emoji on the back of your laptop, and it looks like me.
It's Ted Lasso.
It's Ted Lasso. I was like, I think he has a mustache, so that's not me. But
oh, it's fantastic! What a great show.
You gonna grow out the mustache again, Mitch?
It'll never look good. But if it looked good, I would have a mustache all the time. But dude, Jason Sudeikis, one of the most underrated SNL cast members of all time.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. The way that he could be the best straight man you've ever seen, and a ridiculous, wacky character. Like,
yeah,
so good. So much variety.
Honestly, I kind of have more like tidbits from the end of other jokes. I can't remember if I shared this one with you guys last week. So if I start this one and I've already done it, cut me off. But Mitch, go for it. I'm ready for you.
Oh, I will. All right. So 2 half-baked nothings. One is just how, people get like celebrity lookalikes. Like, who do you look like? And I always get really mean ones. Mine are never flattering. Like one that I used to get frequently, that I still kind of get every now and then, is that I look like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. And it's like, well, no, I don't. I honestly don't. I'm just a tall, thin white man with dark hair.
What's so funny is it's there just enough to make that
just
joke
enough to make
really
it funny.
land.
Yeah.
So when you're on stage and you say that, maybe if you can make yourself stand like him when you say it, like you know how he kind of hunches over, just like if you can make yourself look just a little bit like him,
Yeah, about like bazinga or whatever he says.
Yeah.
Someone once told me that I look like Mayor Pete Buttigieg from behind. And I'm like, what? Okay, that's weird. And then the meanest one that I ever got. This is when I was doing extra work, and it was for like a army movie. And so I was in army getup. And someone was like, we were like mid conversation, and this guy was like, oh my gosh, you know what? Yeah, you look like Steve Rogers, like Captain America. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am flattered. He's so hot. And he was like, yeah, you look like Steve Rogers before he got the super soldier serum. And I'm like, my face doesn't look like his. So you're saying I look like a little bitch? I look like a little skinny bitch. That's all you're saying.
That's a perfect line too. That's a great line. Is that?
Yeah,
oh, that's perfect.
It's because like it's always like, oh yeah, you're frail. I think that's what they say.
Dude, that is not half baked, dude. That is like, you could do that at an open mic tomorrow.
I vote for skinny bitch. That's got it. That's is that written out?
Skinny bitch. I haven't written that down. I don't know if you were
I'll
type that out.
I know that my face does not look like him.
You're saying I look like a skinny bitch who would take a grenade for his team. Like, if there's a way that you could bring in like something that Captain America did.
You're
saying I look like a skinny bitch who probably suffers with asthma. I don't know, whatever he did.
Oh, that'd be a great reason to watch the first Captain America again, to be like, all right,
I gotta do some research. That's freaking funny.
Sorry, babe, we gotta watch it.
That's good.
But yeah, I get the worst celebrity lookalikes. Although ones that I do get, which I don't really see, but it's like some people say I look like Topher Grace, and this isn't a joke. It's like what
I'm googling that person.
I can see that more. It's
yeah,
the guy from That 70s Show.
That 70s Show, but it's weird.
Yeah.
It's like a weird genetic thing where some people just have it, because some people, the first thing they will say to me will be, you look like Topher Grace.
Right.
And then 99% of the rest of the population just doesn't.
It's like how like a few people think cilantro tastes like soap.
That's exactly the comparison I was going to give it to.
Oh, really?
That is it. Yeah. Yes.
Is that in the list?
It's like, it's a small amount,
right?
But it is enough to be like, okay.
But it's several people you know.
There's something. Well, it was like in Reading when we did the open mic, the guy who hosted the open mic, that was the first thing he said to me. He was like, you look like the guy from That 70s Show. And I was like, Topher Grace? And he was like, no, I don't think that's his name.
Oh, that's even better.
So that's that bit. And then the other bit, this bit, I should have opened with this bit because it's not good at all. And it's just a story. My friend, his name was Joe McPhee. One time we were just having a conversation. We were like 11 or 12 years old. And I don't know why, but we were just talking about airplanes or something. And and again, this bit is not going to be good at all. and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's like, you idiot, Joe. It's hot air. And I was like, what? He was like, the way airplanes fly. It's hot air. I'm so stupid. But the way he said it was as if he had been working on an equation.
Yeah.
And the equation was like, okay, airplane plus cold air, but I'm not getting any flight. And he's, racking his brain, throwing pieces of paper over his shoulder. And he's like, wait a second. It's not cold air. And it's just like stuck with me how he was, oh, it's such an idiot, Joe. It's like
he was British, correct?
Oh, he was super British. He was as British as you get.
He was Indonesian, Evan.
Like, you didn't pick up on that accent? Oh, Evan, you need to get cultured.
So from Iowa. I don't know why you said.
I'm so white that I hear every accent is British, but I actually do.
He was from the Congo.
Evan, that was a spot. That's wild. How did you're hearing British? That's all I hear. I hear nothing different.
He was from Argentina.
Do you know Argentinian? Do you know Australian? It's all British to me.
They're all the same to me.
All the same to me.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything there, but I just just the way that he was so like, I don't know,
condemning himself. He was so condemning himself.
Yeah.
So hard on himself for understanding. Well, if you break it down, it's like he was beating himself up for not understanding aviation, which we didn't discover until the 1900s. For years, we've been wondering if we could fly, and he was beating himself up. At, how old was he? 8?
He's like 12. He's like a 12-year-old boy.
Exactly.
Is there a celebrity who has that accent?
I don't really know, but that specific one, I don't know.
Okay, wait a minute. I think I'm fangirling over you right now because is that the same accent you do for Nigel?
It's similar.
Okay, yeah. I love those videos.
I should bring back
name's
Nigel.
I'm 10 and I'm very cross.
Oh yeah, that is a great.
Oh
video.
yeah, for the listener at home, you should check out my Instagram at MitchellMack94. Check out my Nigel sketches.
If we're ever gonna make merchandise
For the listener at home.
one of the t-shirts is gonna say for the listener at home.
One t-shirt for the listener at home, another t-shirt, it's just a premise.
Oh yeah,
It's just a premise.
that's the whole. Yeah, that's a great slogan.
Yeah, dude.
That's a
Freaking
great
Nigel.
slogan.
Because I was gonna say,
Nigel,
like,
I'm
yeah,
10, and these are reviews.
and you review like tennis shoes or something. They're like,
Well, his whole thing was like, he was like, "Hello, Nigel here. I was gonna talk about my favorite game on the Nintendo Switch, but I can't do that, can I? Because I'm very cross." And then he goes into something that happened at school the other day that made him so cross. And then he'd end the video like, "So, I'm sorry, I couldn't talk about my games on the Nintendo Switch, but I was just so cross with Izzy, I was."
I love that so much.
That's great.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, if there's a celebrity who has that accent, because I don't think that the hot air airplane story translates to
No,
stand
it
up.
doesn't.
But if you were like, if it was Michael Caine or something, you're like, this is my impression
Yeah.
of Michael Caine discovering flight or something. And then he
Well,
said, because then it's like, then it's funny to everyone because they know who Michael Caine is. Then it's funny to you personally because you're reliving this moment. That
Bringing
was
it back to
so-
Joe McPhee.
Yeah, exactly.
What's
It's like
funny
a
to me,
tribute.
and maybe this is just because I don't understand physics and science and how it works, but isn't what he's saying not true as well? So he's beating him. He's beating.
He's thinking hot air
He's
balloon
beating,
science.
yeah, he's beating himself up for not knowing what he doesn't know.
I don't think the air has to be
It
hot.
doesn't have to
It
be.
does.
No, air is just so air has mass, and mass under a certain speed creates lift on a wing. A wing can't help but like it's resistance.
It
the
takes
resistance.
longer for the
But
air to go over the
there
wing
is
than
some-
under.
There
so
is
it
something
creates
about
lift.
hotter air. There is something about temperature and heat affects flight, but I don't think it's like. I mean, planes fly at an altitude of 30,000 feet.
Right,
and
it's like
it's freezing up there.
100 below zero.
Yeah, it's really cold up there. But also, there's planes that fly in and out of the Arctic. So I don't think it actually has to be hot air. So when I heard that joke, to me, it's like
This
there's
is Mitch learning.
I'm
I could be wrong though. So I would
No,
say
you're
Google it.
right.
Okay, I'm right. So, but the joke to me is like how we can be so hard on ourselves. If there's an analogy you can go into, like I had this friend one time. He's a British guy who was so hard on himself, and then tell a story if you want to bring it into a joke. But the worst part is he wasn't even right. Like he's not even right about what he's beating himself up on.
Dude, I gotta look this up now.
There's got to be other premises around the idea of beating like the shit out of yourself for being like. Because I remember, for example, you could steal this. When I was a little kid, I was in a car seat and we drove past a gravel pit or the refinery, and like the steam clouds were coming out of the smokestack, and I was like, oh. Like my grandma quotes this to the day. She goes, "I was on the back seat. I'm like, oh," to myself. That's where clouds come from. And I was like, I get it. I understand now. Like it all became so clear in my head. Like that's how clouds are made. And I was like, cool. Today I figured out how clouds are made. And I like it comes out of this pipe out of the ground. But I was wrong. Like I'm clearly it's just like I understand now. But there is the idea of thinking you know something that you don't, and what are the things that we think we know that we actually don't?
Okay, wait. So I looked up. Do airplanes need hot air to fly? The bottom line is that airplanes may struggle to take off and fly in extreme heat because hot air is less dense than cool air.
So yeah, it's actually opposite.
As the temperature increases,
Yeah.
the air expands, making it less dense. Yeah. So okay. So Joe McPhee was
So
a
Joe
dummy
McPhee is still
at
an
12 years
idiot.
old.
He's still an idiot.
Hey, Joe McPhee, you make me very cross.
Idiot.
You made me look like so stupid on my podcast.
I wouldn't know how to say that word with a British accent.
Podcast.
But yeah, 'cause I
Podcast.
never know if it's an ast or an ost with an a sound sometimes. You know?
Podcast. I'm going to be on my podcast later this afternoon.
Let's do a podcast.
Podcast. It sounds like a Valley girl. Oh my god, that was my podcast.
But yeah, those are my half baked. I'm glad you guys
That's
like
fun.
the lookalike one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, super funny. Especially the so I look like a skinny bitch. That's what you're saying.
You're saying you look like Captain America before he turns into.
Before he took the super soldier serum.
That is so funny. Yeah, that's good. That's
Okay,
good.
and you know how I have the bit about like I had the bit on the first night about how it's hard to make friends with guys, and I had that like Power Ranger story. I feel like if I work on that Power Ranger story, I could tie that into it. How it's like because the whole premise is like guys can be mean sometimes and like trying to make friends with guys, and that's another example of like a guy just being really mean.
Mitch, what if you? I have an idea for how you could deliver. It's like I had this guy say, "You look like Steve Rogers," and I was like you have two mean ones, and you're like, "Hey, you kind of look like Steve Rogers," and you're like, "Finally, thank you. That's the nicest thing anybody said. Nobody's ever compared me to Captain America." And he's like, no, Steve Rogers before the serum. So if he actually doesn't call you Captain America, but if he calls you Steve Rogers, the way that he was born, I like the before the serum. It could be fun.
Oh yeah,
or the guy's actually
before the super soldier serum.
If the guy corrects, he's like, "Oh no, not Captain America, Steve Rogers.
Captain America is hot. You look like Steve Rogers.
No.
Smash.
Yeah,
Captain America, smash. You pass.
If you jumped onto a grenade, I wish it was real. That's what I wish. I wish it wasn't a dummy to test your bravery.
You would not be worthy to hold Mjolnir, my guy.
That's so mean.
Oh my
also, Mitch, I want you to work on some jokes that aren't self-deprecating. I want you.
It's impossible. Apparently,
this is your journey, Mitch. We're sending you on a self-love journey.
This was a joke that I think I read to my sister, and then I just decided not to put it in the set because apparently I went for 45 minutes. So I'm glad.
I heard it was an hour 17.
Yeah, the scuttlebutt is you did a full-on. You killed the whole crowd before. So this one's titled British TV. Did I tell you guys? Oh, I might have. I feel like I did this.
I don't
did
recognize
this on the
that
podcast. Bit. Okay, if I did this on the podcast, Phil, we actually do have to cut this because it would just be the same damn thing. Okay, so the joke goes: I've been watching a gardening show with my parents every night before bed. It's this lovely older British man who is a renowned famous gardener in the UK, and he speaks with the calmness of an anesthesiologist. And it's also just as effective. If you can't sleep, just listen to a British man say tomato for a while, and you'll throw out the melatonin within a week. Thanks to that show, I know how to start a bunch of gardening projects. But I have no idea how to finish them. There's got to be a joke. There's got to be an analogy right there. I literally am going to put like a little blank. I know how to start a lot of projects, but don't know how to finish them. Like blah, 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 blah. Don't know what that would be. I imagine it has a lot to do with the type of British accent he has, though. He has a very Mr. Darcy accent. It's not like a Russell Brand teaching you about soil quality. It's a bit harder to drift off to. And then I want to go into a very aggressive British. Like, I can't imagine I would fall asleep to... When planting a tomato bush, what you gotta want to do is dig a deep hole, right? Give it a good sip of water. Okay, this is gonna be hard. Give it a good sip of water, Bevy, till she's nice and tough, right? If you ain't do it thrice a day, your tomato bush is gonna throw a bit of a wobbly. You'll be waking up absolutely gutted at the lack of tomato bushes. Common tea time is spring. So it's not written very fluently, but the idea is I want to bring the audience and calm them with like tomato, tomato. Like I just like and then like talking about how you're waking up with like an erection. What the hell? I've been getting turned on by tomato plants lately. The transition here is they say there's almost 40 different British accents in the UK. You got Cockney, Essex, Wales, Yorkshire, but my brain divides them a little differently. You got James Bond, James Bond, very classy.
Very posh.
Very posh. And then you've got a guy who runs a museum. Well, I don't know if we should be displaying that anymore.
Oh, I got my monocle.
Quite so. Like, they're giving them fun lines to say. Like, a guy who runs a museum. There's a lot of heat for the British Museum right now. James Acaster has one of my favorite jokes about the British Museum being like, how every culture wants it back. And they're like, we're not done looking at it. It's just such a well-written thing. But to bring like a guy who runs a museum, and then, oh, dude, you've got to hear James Acaster's bit about British Museum. It's fantastic.
Dude, I haven't heard that one. Is it in his
it's
repertoire, his Netflix?
It is. I think it's in his the second one of the repertoire.
I've seen all three of those.
Good God.
3 or 4
no,
times.
I don't know if it was on that one or if it was on his newest set.
There's a
that
new
wasn't
one
aired.
that I haven't seen yet.
All I know is that James Acaster's ability, who I really look up to. So this is a deviation. We don't have to talk about this joke, but because I'll brag about James A. Caster. The first time I ever did stand up at that one Creative Hub thing was the day before I watched James A. Caster, and I was like, okay, I'm inspired because he was the first comedian that I was like, okay, he just goes on these tangents down a random thing and gets you there. He makes you land there.
He does stuff you didn't know you were allowed to do.
Exactly. Like just he's twisting it on its head and he's having so much fun with it. Like there's a tangent he does called the dirty top of the tea, and he talks about how weird it is to put put tea in glass cups. Like we don't want to see the sides of tea. We just want to see the dirty top of the tea. I just want to see the dirty. And then he goes on for 5 minutes about how it's the first one in the mouth and the first one out the dick because it's the dirty top of the tea. And you're like, this was just a casual conversation, and you took it somewhere so extreme. Oh, I love that idea. Anyway, that's a little shout out to James A. Caster if you're listening.
Shout out James A. Caster.
Hey,
Definitely a long-time subscriber to the podcast.
And professional comedian in the UK. Oh, God. Biggest fan of that guy. But
we got James A. Caster on the line. James.
Oh, I would love to.
Hello, it's me, James A. Caster.
I would lose my mind. That guy. I think it would be more fun to be a celebrity in England than anywhere else. A comedian, actually, not a celebrity. I think it'd be more fun to be a comedian in England than any other country because
it's smaller.
It's smaller. It's more niche. But like you are invited onto all their game shows. Are done with celebrities and comedians.
Yes.
So if you're going to do any of those, they're not just having like a random person come on stage and play what Price is Right. It would be like James A. Caster's playing Price is Right. That's how their shows.
After living in England for 8 years, I have definitely told Aaron like I could see us living in England for forever.
Let's get famous in the UK.
Well,
let's get famous in the UK.
I do have a friend. I have a friend who's a stand-up comedian in the UK. I could hit him up, and I bet we could
do
go
a
for
show in the UK?
He has a weekly show. He started it up again since COVID.
So my sister lives in the UK. Have you never visited her?
Which part?
Oh, God, you really put me on the spot, and she listens. Jillian, I know where you live, of course. You live...
I just don't want to give away your location.
It's for your... Dude, they lived in Shrewsbury, then they moved to outside of Leicester? Oh, God, Jill.
Leicestershire?
Oh, gosh, I'm not sure.
Lechlade?
It's actually pronounced Leicester. Did you know that?
Lechlade?
Yes.
Leicester,
yeah.
Leicester.
Yeah.
Leicester is actually Leicester.
Yeah.
And I want to say they live like an hour out of Leicester. And she's going to be listening like, not even close.
Yeah. She's like, it's literally London, you bloody idiot.
Oh, an idiot. You idiot.
Oh, that's okay. One quick tangent.
Yeah.
Growing up in England, I tried to make sure I never lost my American accent because girls liked it. But
Really?
Ellie, my older sister, she would her accent was so gross at times because it would just flow in and out of like being British and American. Yeah. And so it would all of a sudden just, be all like this and, just like out of nowhere. And I hated it. And especially when she was around her friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? You doing all right? See you later, love. Oh, yeah, that was all my friends.
Oh,
Ellie.
It is. Oh, it is Leicester. Hey, yeah, it's Leicester. I know things, Jillian. Hey, Jillian, that was for you. That was actually a bit. I knew where you lived the entire time, and I didn't have to go to your church's profile. I did not have to go to your church's Instagram and find out the location via the location of part of the.
That's amazing.
Leicester.
Yeah. No. This is a buddy in Bristol, and
I don't know how far away that is from Leicester.
Bristol.
I mean, not super far. It's all in England.
It's all an island.
Imagine it's like one part of Texas or a different part of Texas.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Ohio.
Yeah,
it's like the size of Ohio.
So yeah, no, actually, I should reach out to him. We should see if we could go abroad sometime.
Oh my
this year.
gosh, I would.
I never thought of that until now. Until you said,
"Pee my pants."
Can we? Oh, maybe that's a separate talk.
What?
I want to travel our show.
Yeah.
When have we heard anything back from your pal? We can cut this.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it for sure after this.
Yes.
But yeah, it's definitely
Parcel
he
tongue.
definitely wants it to happen.
Oh God.
Yeah.
My parcel tongue.
Your parcel tongue.
It's definitely a thing. So then that got me thinking, like, what else could we set up on the way there?
Oh, let's make.
And also,
thing of
I
it.
could for sure set up something in Oklahoma City.
Can we rent a van?
Yeah. Actually, we
rent
could
a
probably
van.
just borrow Bryant's.
Let's borrow Brian's
He
van.
has like a camping van.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
he'd let us use it.
Oh, we would. Oh,
The amount of money that we would save from hotels?
Maybe like
These
switch to the Geico.
sleepovers, the slumber parties?
Oh my gosh, guys, say less. Can we do this next week?
Can we please say less,
Can
gentlemen?
we please just
Say
do
less,
this?
travel more.
Actually, hey, fans,
What
where
a
would
slogan.
Hey, unpaid regular fans, where would you like to see us perform?
It's like Reading.
It's like, I don't know.
Anderson, that'd be fun.
I know. I'm out in Palo Cedro. Got a ranch. I got a barn that's got turned into something. Hey, unpaid regular fans.
No,
Dude, I'm-
Dakota. He's listening in Denver.
We could hit up Montana.
Shout out to Denver.
Oh, Denver would be fun.
Montana. We could do something in Colorado, Oklahoma,
It'd
Texas,
probably be better to
Arkansas, Ohio.
We're
maybe
just choosing the most sporadically spread states.
not gonna be.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be
There's not
fuel
a one
efficient.
way. It's not like we're going down
could
to 5.
perform, We could perform to a bunch of old people in Ohio.
Oh God.
Oh, you know, Grammy would set something up.
My grandma and my mom. My mom, class of
Just
78
All
or
your
whatever.
mom's church friends.
Exactly.
All right, here's the deal. They are excited for your comedy. I did promise them that you're going to share your testimony afterwards.
And also, you have 20 minutes of material praising Donald Trump, right?
Did I show you? You saw it. I don't know.
The
I
mug.
showed you, Evan. Yeah, I was drinking coffee out of a mug all morning long, and to me it was a red mug.
Oh no.
And so I'm drinking
You
my
had
coffee,
no
la, la,
idea.
la, la, and I'm sitting there. It's on my birthday too. This is the birthday where it's like everything just went wrong.
The forbidden birthday.
And I'm sitting there. I'm at work and I'm on a Zoom call,
Oh.
and I'm like, I take a drink of my coffee and I look down, and in the front facing camera of my Zoom call, I catch the word Trump, and I'm like, oh no, nope,
Oh,
that can't be.
That's not
What? And then so I put it down, and I'm on the Zoom call, yep, totally, and I'm rotating the thing around. I look, and it says what did it say, Mish? Do you remember?
I don't know. It was something like, I'll stay with Trump
It
forever.
was, it was like, I stand with Trump. I think that's what it said. I stand with Trump.
Yeah, it was something like, he very clearly won the 2020 election.
No, but it wasn't even like Trump 2020, It wasn't like, or Trump 2016. It wasn't even like it was like, I stand with Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I
My
had
gravestone
been
will be next
walking
to
around
Trump.
all day.
all morning. So Gabby didn't say anything. My mother-in-law was probably just beaming with pride.
Oh,
on this,
yeah.
she's like,
Oh yeah.
I bet he chose that mug. And I just felt so
Well,
misunderstood. in the moment. I
how
was
could you not after seeing a terrible job Joe Biden's done?
I stand with Trump. That just make that a clip, Phil. Let's just put that. I'm just gonna go through one quick thing, and then we can wrap. We've been yakking for a while.
We've been yakking.
Been yakking it
Oh
up.
my gosh, yeah.
Oh my god.
9:54. Oh, we go. Oh, we
Um,
go.
So this is something I've been working on called You Can Use That. And okay, again, I feel like maybe I have shared this.
I don't think I've heard this.
So if I have, stop me and I'll move on to something else. But it's called You Can Use That. Word for word, my greatest fear is that I'll run out of joke ideas and actually need to use the jokes that have been offered to me. Because you guys all know, you guys have all had that family member who's like, you can use that if you want. Like they
Oh my
say
gosh.
something that they think is hilarious, and they're like, are you going to put that in your stand-up? And so,
No.
never, no. And so my greatest fear is that I'll run out of joke ideas and actually need to use the joke ideas that have been offered to me. Like my fever dream is that someday I'll hit such a big wall creatively that I have to call and be like, hey, Uncle Rob. Do you remember that time you got drunk on Labor Day and riffed about how gay people are taking over the alphabet? And after solo laughing for 6 minutes, you turned to me and said, feel free to use that on stage. Does that offer still stand? Hey, Marcus from the fraternity. Your hot take on why women don't make good pilots. Is that still up for grabs? Hey, Mom, remember when you just held up a picture of a cat with sunglasses and told me I should use it as a joke? And I say, well, guess what? I just did.
I like that kind of like, well, you are using it
Right.
in the set.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, guess what? I just did is a perfect ending to that.
She just holds up, she's like, you should say this on stage. It's a picture.
That's so
Even-
funny.
See, even that breakdown of that's funny to me. Like talking about that on stage, like bringing up that little quip, like just that, like exactly what we just did. That conversational side is so funny to me.
Oh yeah,
Is
that's
great.
hilarious. That's really good.
That's the whole bit. So
I
I'm
mean,
thinking of,
freaking flesh it out and do it. I really like it.
I want to somehow tie it into like, because I think I've tried it one time. I think I did it at Sweet Spot, and I talked about
Oh, what a great place! To
how
do
I loved
comedy.
it. What a room!
What a crowd!
How I love doing stand-up comedy, but it's like most people don't understand what stand-up comedy is. Like,
Yeah.
people will. I had this joke about how my mom like does this thing where she doesn't understand stand-up comedy, but she's so proud of me. Like, she's too proud of me.
That's amazing.
Especially for my level of achievement. Like, she'll see a video on my Instagram of me at an open mic, and she'll comment and be like, "Is this you on Kimmel?" and, like, she'll share with all of her friends and completely exaggerate like what it was, you know. my son Trey did a late show, and I'm like, no, I said it was a late show.
It was a late show.
He did the late show. I'm like, no, I said it was at midnight. And like, I did this. What was the line? I can't remember. I did this at a bar where, I did it at a biker gang bar where people only laughed at the parts where I said the N-word.
Wait, was that in Chico or something?
Yeah, I think I was inspired by Chico.
That is great. That's a great line.
It's like, I thought they were laughing at my jokes. They were just laughing when I said the N-word. Yeah, that's all I have time for today, kids. But that's the idea.
I love it.
The idea for the first joke was so specific, like how the homosexuals are taking all the alphabets, whatever. That's
all the alphabet.
Whatever.
Every language.
Every
alphabet.
alphabet, all the letters. If you could make the second joke just as specific, or like just verbatim tell the joke. I don't know why. What would it be that females pilots are so bad? But it's like, why female pilots are so bad because of blah blah blah. I mean, that you could kind of going into sexist territory, so maybe not that joke. Yeah. But I like the idea. I like the
good thing about doing it that way is that it's someone else's joke.
It is. It's
Right.
kind of a clever way for you to tell a terrible joke. But the thing is, it's like you are still doing it. I'm wondering if people would pick up on that. Like, he is doing it right now. That's why I like that last line of like, guess what, Mom? Just did.
Right.
So,
no, because that is where the first punchline came from. Because
Go
I saw it's like LGBTQIA 2.0 or something.
Yeah.
There's two more.
It's
LGBTQIA plus 2. There's something.
I mean,
and I'm like, oh, this is just now the alphabet.
I made when I was, one of my earliest jokes, one of my earliest things was when somebody told me what the LGBT was. I was like, that sounds like a delicious sandwich. I was like, that we'll have 2 of those. And they're like, but then so dumb.
I've actually seen one of those, and I'm not kidding.
An LGBTQ sandwich? Is it like a lettuce? Let me guess.
Lettuce,
Lettuce, tomato,
B. There's bacon.
What is guacamole? Lettuce, guacamole, bacon, tomato.
It may have been guac.
It has to be guac.
It was LGBT, and it was like with the rainbow flag and a sandwich, and it looked really.
And then
good.
plus is actually they just charge you.
That sandwich would slap.
They charge you 50 cents for every
Dude,
one.
LGBTQ. Put some quinoa on that bitch. Woo!
Ooh.
Quinoa. What the?
Put some.
No, quinoa is not allowed.
Yeah, quinoa ruins everything.
There's a cutoff tray. Yeah. We don't let quinoa into this group. Lettuce, totally fine. Bacon, 100%.
But obviously, I would never joke about that because I'm like, I don't care. Like, add your letter, whatever. But it is funny. It's still funny.
It is funny because it's like it's just
someone else.
the whole alphabet.
But it's also true.
Yeah, it's the idea of like, but the second joke that I was saying like a long, another joke with a really good punchline instead of like a vague like what you said about women being terrible pilots. If you actually had like.
Which the joke about that is like it doesn't even make sense. Like that's not even
right.
Yeah, I kind of was on board with that because it was like the first one was like kind of a joke. The second one wasn't really. The third one wasn't at all.
Right.
The third one is just a picture, and so I do kind of like that progression of like But yeah, I mean I swear that I've heard that LGBTQ joke a lot.
Really?
Of like that. Yeah, the LGBTQ blah 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 all the alphabet. But it's perfect saying it's from an uncle because that makes it original.
Then laughing about it for 6 minutes by himself.
Right.
Yes. Right. But so for the second joke, if you are going down that kind of that path, Mitch is like saying if you did something where It's like how women are terrible pilots. And was there a punchline? Oh, there wasn't a punchline. You just think they're terrible. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Like, so it's like you call him because it's a call back to that friend.
Yeah.
You had a joke about women being terrible pilots, eh? Oh no, that's just. Okay, you're just sexist. Okay, never mind.
What was the punchline? That was the punchline.
Okay. Okay,
Great.
well, never mind.
Could
Okay,
I use
thank
that?
you. Can I use it? yeah. Just.
Oh no, because you don't say "Can I use that" until the last one, right, or
Yeah.
something, or.
Well, no, I say the first one. I say it the first time, and the second time it's just kind of implied. I
Is it
just
on the
trail
table?
off, and then I just say, "Mom, when you held up the picture of the cat with sunglasses."
Yeah.
That's a funny bit. That's a really good bit.
Thanks. I'm excited to try it next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Starting over.
Next Wednesday. Diddle-a-doo.
Cool.
Sweet. Well, let's sign off, guys.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Yeah, for sure. It's 1 a.m. over here, ladies and gents.
Oh yeah.
Get out.
It's time for you
So
to go to
on that
bed.
note, I'm Mitchell Mack.
I'm Evan Pearson.
And I'm Trey Ellis, and you've been listening to Unpaid Regulars. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.